and go.
Well, you guys, this is going to be your guys' motorhome for the next couple days, couple weeks, however long you guys rent it for. I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick walk, actually a long walkthrough about the entire motorhome, so that way when you guys come pick it up, if you guys have any questions, you guys could go ahead and ask those questions. If not, we'll try to make the walkthrough process a little bit quicker than normal. So I'm gonna start on the outside of the RV.
This is the Bueno.
This is the big blue Bueno RV. We have a few of them, so this is the big blue Bueno RV. So first, let's start at this compartment. This compartment right here is the propane. It's already filled up. Right now it's at about 3/4 of a tank. You can check, there's a fuel gauge right there. It's at a little bit over 3/4 of a tank. If you ever run out of propane, you could go ahead and stop at a gas station that has one of those big propane tanks. Depending on how long your adventure is, it could be multiple weeks. And the refrigerators ran off of the propane if you do not have hookups. Also, if you're using the stove, or if you heat up water, it uses the propane. But typically the propane lasts about a full tank, about a week and a half or so, depending on how much you use it. So if you need to fill up the propane, you could go ahead and stop on the side of the road and fill the propane up. In this compartment, we have just a whole bunch of little goodies for you guys. Here's a extension cord. It's a 50-foot extension cord. This white thing right here, what this is it's a privacy thing for your window. So once you guys are parked and you guys are stationed, it's super simple and easy. You could, when you take it out, it hooks onto your driver window and then your windshield and then your passenger window. So that way it creates privacy, so that way nobody could look in and out while you guys are parked and stationed.
Okay.
Inside here, jumper cables for any reason if you need them. And then here are ramps too. So if you're on unlevel ground or so, there's ramps and you drive your front tires up on it, and then there's little chocks underneath, so that way it could level out the RV a little bit better if you're on level ground, depending on where you guys are going. So I'll just put all this little stuff back in here. The step is a manual step. You just kind of pull it out and then you push it up in. Don't worry about it falling out while you're driving or so. It stays up to pretty good. So the step pulls out and then goes back in. Inside here is just some storage. Oop, this one's locked, okay. But it's just a little storage compartment that goes to the other side, just a long storage compartment. Inside here, I'll show you. Once I have the radio on inside, you flip this, bloop, and it turns these outdoor speakers on right here for the outdoor. I'll show you once we go inside and turn on the engine. Here's also some outlets for 110 or so. So say you put your patio table out here and you want to plug in and you have full hookups, you also got power here. The awning, currently right now, it's broken. I had to order some parts, but due to everybody vacationing right now, it's taking a little while for the parts to come in. So do not use the awning. It's broken. It's up in the upright position. Don't attempt to take it down. What we got for you guys, because the awning's broken, and I know, I'm sorry, I bought a gazebo. So it's a pop-up 10x10 gazebo that we have inside of this compartment for you guys. So the gazebo is right up in here. Basic 10x10 gazebo, pops up. Here's the canopy and everything. What this is this is a little outdoor garbage can for you guys. It just go ahead. These little things sometimes are difficult to open up. It expands, so for trash, when you guys are hanging outside of your RV or so, you could put a trash bag inside of here, which I provided some trash bags inside, so I'll show you. The trash bags could go inside of here. And this is just a little outdoor garbage can for you guys if there's not any garbage cans close by you. Inside here is just also just a bigger storage compartment where you guys could put some wood or any kind of belongings you guys have. Here's a ladder to get on the roof. Please do not go on the roof. Don't hang up on there. Don't stargaze. Don't do anything. I don't want anybody to fall off of the roof. I also don't want anybody to damage the roof anymore. It is not meant to hang out. It is not meant to stargaze or anything. It's meant to service the units that are on top of there. So once again, please do not go on the roof. Right here is where you fill up your portable water tank that's located inside underneath the bed. You hook up your hose here, and this fills up your portable water tank in there. Or if you have connections from the city, the pressurized water keeps it pressurized throughout the unit. So in here is your control panel for it all. So right here,
Council Plumbing.
there is two diagrams that you're gonna wanna look at. There's fill, and you're gonna look at how this little picture is right here. Right now, I just filled it up for you guys. So I have it on horizontal, vertical, 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 vertical. But now that you guys are gonna be using the RV, I'm gonna switch it to use for you. So this one's horizontal, I'm gonna switch it. Whoop. And then this one is vertical. Boop. So now it's on the use position. So when you're using the water from the city, you have it like this. When you are using the water on your portable tank, you have it used. The only time you're gonna mess with any of these levers is if you're filling up the unit. Once you're done filling the unit, you wanna switch it back to use. So 95% of the time it's gonna be on use. Also, be careful with these valves. These valves are kind of loose. They kind of fall off like that. So they're very temperamental. So just be gentle with it. Boop, boop. Another thing, you should never see any water falling down right here. There should never be any water. So when you're filling it up, when you're using it for any reason, there should never be any water dripping here. I'll go inside and I'll show you what to do if the water starts to drip here. So let's go inside and I'll show you.
Issues.
So if the water starts to drip at all, you come to the side of the queen bed back here, and this little compartment opens up. Back here is the control for all your waters on the back side of it. So if you see any water that's dripping like I was showing you, you come in here and there's these little black plungers right here, which it's kind of dark, you can't see, but all you do is just push this in, or likewise with that one, and it will end up stopping the dripping. So don't freak out or anything if water kind of drips there. Just come out in here and you just push these little black plungers in, because sometimes from the opposite side, what happens is when you turn the valve, it goes in this way. So you got to come over here and just push it back in that way, and that will stop the dripping. So let's go back out to the outside and we'll continue the tour. So that's what I mean by the black plungers are on the back end of these. So all you do, sometimes when you move these could go in that way. You're gonna go on the inside and you gotta push it back that way. So that's the water connection for the city. In here is your sewer connection. Right here are some gloves right here, so that way you don't get your hands too dirty or anything. Or we also leave a box of gloves in here for you. Super easy to go ahead and connect onto the sewer. I went ahead and verified myself. The entire tanks, the gray and the black water tank, are completely drained out. So all you do to hook up to the sewer is right here. You get this black thing and you turn it, bloop, and then you get this guy and you turn it on there. You get the bigger valve. The bigger valve is the poop black water tank. So you want to open up that valve first, and it clears out all the black water and the poo and everything, toilet paper, and then you get your gray water and open up that valve. And that is all your soap water, shower, and hand sink and everything of that sort. So that way it cleans out this guy, so that way it's not left over with poop or toilet paper residue or anything of that sort. In here is also a little outdoor shower. There's a little switch right here to click on the pump for it. And if you don't want to take a shower inside, or say your feet are really sandy and dirty, what you could do is you could use this outdoor shower and clean off those nasty feet. Look how black they are. Oh my goodness. Nasty little creature. So you would clean off your feet just like that. If they're dirty, or if you just want to just cool down, you're really hot outside, you want to cool down, you could use the outdoor shower, so that way sewage doesn't go inside of the septic tank itself. That is the sewer connection. Here's the gas tank. It just takes normal gas, 87 gas, and I've already filled it up. Before all your guys' adventures, I go ahead and fill up the tank all the way to the top, and I would appreciate it if you guys return it filled up. If you do not, I will just take out the money out of your deposit and I will go fill it up myself, plus my time to go fill it up. So please return the tank at a full tank. Here is the connection for electrical. So hopefully you guys have hookups wherever your adventure is, and you could plug this puppy in. Bloop. As soon as you plug this guy in, you got full power to the entire unit. You could let the AC run 24/7, but I'm sure you won't, because it gets super cold in there if you do. Trust me. And there is an adapter right here. So this is for some outlets have this. If not, you have this adapter that plugs into 110. It's all located in here. So you plug that in and you will have power for the entire unit. If you do not have power, I'm sure you're going kind of off the grid, which is pretty cool. You're adventuring somewhere, but you will be using the generator a little bit more. I'll show you how to operate the generator inside. Pretty easy. You're allowed 3 hours a day, and any overage is just an additional charge. In here is another storage compartment. This was a little storage compartment that goes all the way to the other side, so you could just, a long storage compartment, you could put chairs and all those good stuff in there. Over here, I went ahead and left you guys with some tools. His little toolkit.
Tools.
So here's some duct tape, and here's a whole toolkit right here. For any reason, if you need it, or any reason, little straps, a little funnel. Here's some oil. If you guys are driving over 800 miles or so, please do me a favor. Check the oil, check the transmission fluid. Some of you guys are going cross country and you have it for a month and a half. Some of you guys only have it for 3-4 days, but if you're driving over 500-600 miles, it'd be greatly appreciated if you could just check the oil and also the transmissions. That way, if for any reason you don't break down. I check it before you guys go on your adventure, so you guys are all a-okay to go. But for any reason, if there happened to be a weird oil leak that I just all of a sudden happened, check the oil, please. Here's a funnel inside, so that way if you do need to, you could add extra oil or transmission fluid, or window wiper fluid if you're going through a lot of bug places and stuff. So that's where the tools are at. This is another storage compartment for you that is currently locked. It's just an extra storage compartment. I have nothing in there. I typically always put my wood inside of here for campfires and everything and all that good stuff. Here is the generator. You shouldn't need to ever open this, but I'm just gonna show you something real quick. Inside of here is the generator. For any reason, if the generator is not kicking on, inside this generator box is a 30 amp breaker. Sometimes if it's extremely hot, you're using the generator a lot and it's just overworking, sometimes this breaker kicks off. It's right here. Are you getting it? Look inside of here. Right in here is the breaker. So this breaker sometimes bloop trips and you'll see the off. It should always be on the on position. So if it trips like that, it typically means it's overheated or so. This is a separate start to start the generator. There's a start inside to start it, so I'll just show you how to start it inside. Let me put this little handy dandy thing back. All right, now let's go inside your coach. All right, so we are inside of your coach for your guys' adventure. So, pretty straightforward, everything inside. I'll go ahead and do a quick rundown with you. Here is your control up here. Your refrigerator I turned on the night before, so it should be nice and cold. It should always say auto. You don't need to touch any of this. It should never say check. If it says check, that means for any reason it's not working. It should never, ever, ever, ever say check. If it says check, you're either not getting propane or it's not hooked up. So when it's on auto like that, it means it's automatically going to be running either off of two things, the propane, or when you plug into the electricity, it's going to be running off of the electricity. Here is your pump. So this pump right now is off. And if you look at the water over here, I go to run the water, no water comes out. So what you got to do, either have two things. You got to be hooked up to the city from the water and it keeps it pressurized the entire time, or you kick the pump on and the pump will circulate the water throughout the entire unit. Bloop. So it kicks on. There it goes. You got to give it a second to get pressurized. It'll make a noise in the back of the RV. Boom, it's pressurized. So now, you got good flow water to your toilet, your sink, your shower, everywhere. You could leave the pump on. If you're not using the pump and you have full hookups or so, kick the pump off. You're just using electricity on the battery and you're wearing out the pump. That's the pump and how to use that on. So I'll leave that on for now because I want to show you the toilet operation. Here is the test. This says test, and it tests all the levels. Don't worry about it. This is the fresh water. It's filled up, the holding and all this. These levels are incorrect because what happens is it's an older unit, and all it takes is toilet paper or something to get stuck on that sensor, and it is incorrect. So don't pay attention to the levels. They're not correct. Here's the heater. Right here's the switch for the heater. So it takes roughly about 30 to 40 minutes. Boom. Red light's on. Green light's on. What happens is it takes 30, 40 minutes and the propane heats up about a 15 little gallon storage tank. And it'll keep that water warm, and you could either use the heater or not use the heater. Typically, I always try to use the campsites, showers, toilets as much as possible. If I'm going to go number 2, I go the campsite. If I'm going to shower, I use the campsite. But I understand during this time right now that some of the campsite showers are closed, and likewise with the bathrooms too. So that's how you use the heater anyway. Your generator, it is located right here. This is the hours of your generator where we will be tracking. Currently right now it is at 3:06. To start the generator, you could hold the stop button. And what that does, you hold it for a few seconds and it's just like a lawnmower. So you, almost like a lawnmower, how you gotta push in that little red thing to pump the gas into the generator. That is the same concept, to hold it like that and it'll boost it up. And then you hold this. Voila. Now, if you do not have hookups, you have full power to the entire motorhome, which will provide 110 to all the outlets. Now we'll have 110. And if you do not have the generator on, it will not provide 110 to any of these outlets. So as soon as I turn off the generator, this little night light is turning off too. So it takes about like a 15-20 seconds for the AC to kick on, which you just heard itself. Here's the AC control right here. Typically, if it's extremely hot and I'm driving or so, I always have it on low. Because if you run it on high, yes, it does kick out a lot more cold air, but ultimately if you're in a environment that's at 100 plus temperature or even 95 plus temperature, the generator will overheat, it overworks, and plus you're running the AC, you're drawing a lot of energy from that generator itself. So I would just keep it on low to try to put less stress on the generator. But once you got full hookups or so, kick that puppy on high and cool this entire unit down, because it gets colder than iceberg in here. If you are taking it during the winter, this is your furnace control too, which is also ran off of the propane. You just switch it from cool to heat, furnace, pretty straightforward thermostat. Now also, say you're driving down the road or so and you're hot, you could kick the generator on to cool down the entire unit. Or you're hungry and you don't want to pull over, kids are hungry or so, you kick the generator on, you got some Hot Pockets, corn dogs, turn on the generator, now you have your microwave. Fully functional microwave, boom. Simple as that. Now I'm warming up some corn dogs, don't gotta stop it, I'll keep on driving down to Crater Lake or wherever my final destination is. So I'm gonna kick off the microwave. The stovetop. This guy is removable. You could go ahead and flip it up if you're gonna use one like that, or if you're using both, you could kind of remove it off to the side during your cooking. And I'll just keep it off to the side. Inside of here is a lighter. Boop. Start it all up. Pretty straightforward. That's ran off of the propane, so depending on how much you're cooking and you're heating up the water and then you're running the refrigerator is on how fast that propane level is going to go down. Like I said, you could always, on the side of the road, gas stations that say LP fill is a liquid propane, and it's a fill station for it. Super easy to fill it up. Or if you're using too much and you return the propane with a lot lower state than I originally first gave it to you, I will charge you for the extra usage of that as well. Right here is the light for the stovetop. And you're doing a lot of cooking, kick that fan on, unless you're cooking bacon, because you want that smell to stay in here. Inside of here, we got some trash bags for you. That I'll go ahead and put one inside your trash can that I'll leave inside of here too. I don't have any utensils or cooking supplies inside of the motorhome because it's just easier for you to bring your own. So all of your cooking utensils, silverware, plates, napkins, all that stuff. This is your house. You're gonna bring all your stuff from your house because you're going on wheels. So I don't keep anything in here because it's easier to not have to worry about cleaning it or people breaking it or stealing it, or it's just dirty as heck, and it's just a lot easier for our cleaners to come in and clean the RV, not each individual fork and all that little knick-knack stuff like that. God, it's getting cold in here. I'm gonna kick that puppy off. I guess I don't even actually need the generator on. So all you do is just hit stop. Boom. And it stops. As you notice now, our night light is off because we have no 110. Also, our microwave and AC, everything turned off. So, back here is your shower. Sneaky little shower. Here's a light up here. And boom. Hot water, cold water, standard shower. Oh, in here is a little fan. So if you are showering, you could kick this fan on and it sucks out all the air. There's also a vent where you could crank it open, and that also lets out all the air as well. Sorry if you're 6'2", 3, 4. Shower's not that accommodating towards tall people, so I apologize ahead of time. Back here is, you want to come over here? So here's some little blinds that I went ahead and create some privacy for you and your significant other. Here is a light switch that controls this light right here. boop. This TV, it's a Roku TV. So I know you're going outdoors to go be outdoors, but sometimes it's nice to just turn on your hotspot on your phone and you could watch Netflix on the TV. Super cool. I do it all the time. In here is your throne. So inside of here, I left a whole bunch of toilet paper. You shouldn't run out. For any reason, if you happen to run out, what I typically say is the dollar store. It's the cheapest, it's the thinnest, and it is okay to put in RVs. Right here's your toilet. And what I typically do is, so I left the pump on to show you this. So if I'm gonna go number one, I mean, you just flush it, normal, and it fills up. That's the level it typically fills up at. If I'm gonna go number two, there's an extra little lever here, and what I do is I just hold it. And it fills up the bowl with a lot more water. So that way it doesn't leave so many skid marks, and it's just easier to clean and everything. And it gets everything down a lot easier. Flush, boom, done. There's your toilet. Other than that, there's a little trash can in here. Same thing with the shower concept. You have the bathroom fan. It's right here. You could open up the vent right here, and it opens up the vent and it lets out the yummy smell after you go number two. And that's everything for in here. I will now show you the front of the coach. So there are some lights here. All the lights I switched out to LED lights, energy efficient. They use a lot less battery, but if you got full hookups, leave everything on. But if you don't have full hookups, you got to be extremely mindful what you're leaving on, what you're using, what you're not using, because you either are using the generator a lot more, or just you're going to run out of gas, because the generator is ran off of the gas of the motorhome. It just uses the same amount of gas. So if you use that generator more, it's going to drain more gasoline from the motorhome. It has a fail-safe system, so the generator will not kick on if it has a quarter tank or less of gas. So you could be running that generator for like 8-9 hours. As soon as it hits a quarter tank of gas, no more generator. So you got to be mindful of that as well. This turns into a bed. All you do is you just grab it, pull it up, bloop, and it turns flat. The seat belts, typically every single time you turn it into a bed, the seat belts do fall through. So if you have little ones and you have a car seat or so, you have to grab those seat belts back out in order to hook them back up. This table turns into a bed. All you do is you just lift this leg up and it folds, and then you drop the table down, and then these cushions you want to remove, and the table lays flat on there, and then the cushions lay flat on top of the table, and it turns into a bed for one or two little ones. Two people could sleep on this bed. And then up here, this turns into another bed. There's another bed for you right there. Every time when I'm driving, I typically have this shut, or if I have a bunch of luggage or so, sometimes I'll have it open and I put extra luggage or water bottles and different stuff like that up there. This TV is not a Roku TV. This TV has a DVD player in there with a remote control, and if you wanted to watch TV, boom, you got TV. Here is your cab. So, the radio is, for some reason, I'm not sure, it doesn't turn on and off. So, in order to turn it on and off, you just push it in, and it turns on right away. And then to turn it off, because when you even though I don't have the keys in the ignition, to turn off the radio, bloop, it turns off the radio. So that's the radio. I'll go ahead and start this puppy up for you. And here is your reverse camera. This guy has to be plugged in to here. Nothing turns on the screen, but once I hit reverse, boom. It's very accurate, and you could go ahead and reverse, and it works really good.
Oh, the dogs are out. Oh, shoot.
And that is your guys' motorhome for the weekend. Hope you guys enjoy your adventure, and see you later. Bye.